background. And 1, 2, 3, split.
Now, if you've accidentally started watching the behind the scenes before you've seen the movie, pause this, watch the movie, then come back right to this moment.
It doesn't really work that way, so just hit the menu button. That'll go back to the main menu screen.
If you don't want to do all of that and you want to stay here, I'll just give you a synopsis of the movie right now.
That's great.
Okay, so open up on... The one thing we always talked about from the beginning was just making something fun.
Let's just make a popcorn movie. Let's make something that people can enjoy for an hour and a half.
Especially in horror comedy. And
Yes.
I feel like we were like, we think we can pull this off. And then hopefully also have like a nice little message about self-worth and friendship in there too.
My favorite thing of Snatchers is trying to explain it to like a stranger on an airplane.
Snatchers is what you would call a comedy horror film.
It's hilarious, and there's all types of different genres busted in there. Like, there's horror, there's sci-fi, there's comedy.
The swelling hasn't gone down yet.
That's not how it works!
Is it?
I don't know, I opted out of help. Yeah, big surprise!
The three of us did sketch comedy with two other people in college, and then we, after college, did it for years and years, just the three of us. We finally realized the best way to show people our tone was to take a scene from the movie and make it
A proof of concept.
A proof of concept, yeah.
to
And
prove
just
the concept.
Mark?
It was actually the proof of concept that got us together with Stage 13 to then go on to make the movie.
It's pretty great.
These guys are just brilliant at making it work.
The idea of having bonus features for our movie is like almost more a dream come true than making a movie.
forget the movie.
Fuck the movie.
I kind of feel like the people just want to hear us doing the dialogue while they're instead of the commentary.
Absolutely. All right, I got it.
Whenever we watch these things and they cut to the guys talking, I'm always like, I don't care what you have to say. Show me the B-roll of you guys on set so I can see how you did it. And rather than hearing you yabber away about how you actually did it.
And then we'll pause, we'll bring in the baby.
And then the push really exasperated.
When we first started writing Snatchers together, one thing that the three of us all shared in common is that we have older sisters. And more specifically, as we got to know each other a little bit better, we found that our sisters all had kind of difficult high school experiences, very similar ways that actually
Terrified us.
They terrorized us. They terrified us.
Yeah. So Sara is not based off of any one of our specific sisters, but some of the things that she goes through are the things that our sisters went through.
Are you wearing makeup?
No. I just moisturized.
Benji and I grew up with each other. We've known each other since 4th grade, and we were making little movies together in middle school.
Yeah.
We love action movies.
You guys would shot list everything before you're filming, would storyboard too.
Yeah.
And I would help out with the storyboards. I'd draw the storyboards. And actually, the storyboards and the action scenes like line up pretty well.
Everyone ready?
Action actually, it is one of the slowest parts of the process because everyone has to be safe.
Oh, well, can we not throw the glass in the guy's eyes?
But everyone has to be safe. And that's very important. We end up machining each individual part, and then everything works when you get all the parts. And we chose a couple of scenes where that was the case. And the police station fight was one of the scenes we were like, this has to be really important. And the party scene was another one.
1, 2, 3, split!
We could not have made Snatchers as a movie work based on the amount of shots and ambition we had if we had not found this place in Utah that literally had a defunct clinic, jail cell, and police station built into one building that they happened to be demolishing. And they were like, well, we can't use this and we can't take money from you guys because it's a public place. So here's a free, huge location.
But one of the nice things was that we actually got to destroy it. This was like the first time we were like really working with stunt people and really working with a special effects team, and it was amazing.
And our stunt coordinator was like, let me show you what I can do. And he flies through the air, and we were like, we are gonna film this 100 times.
We probably did those takes just a little too many times.
Action!
In the party, we had this stunt we really wanted to do where someone gets hit in the face with a glass vase and it breaks on their face. And then the stunt coordinator goes, oh, I'll totally make that stunt happen. I know just the guy to throw the vase into, my son.
EJ, you ready? Ready.
2 takes. Both takes were beautiful.
Action!
When we were shooting the clinic scene and the doctor's head explodes, we covered the walls in blood. I remember when we were shooting it being like, is this just logically too much blood? And the answer, nope.
It's sticky, it's jarring, it's everywhere.
Oh my God, you touched it! You touched it!
All of the blood stuff is very, very fun. It's very gory, but fun. Good gory.
The weapons of the Snatchers were very important to us. We wanted this to be a teen adventure story, but we put a lot of thought into how Sara and Hayley would fight back against this specific alien.
I'm gonna have to kick your ass.
Guys, you use whatever you can. So whether it's a macaweedle, look it up. Good luck spelling it.
What is that thing?
It's a souvenir thing. It's nothing.
The macaweedle is the
Mayan sword.
Yeah, the Mayan sword that Skylar had.
It was basically used by the ancient Mayans to fight off their enemies, not only physical, but also spiritual.
And then the car jumper was just like, it's just the fun of a good monster movie. So like,
Yeah, and it was extrapolated from the defibrillators. We were like, oh, that works that one time. And so we were like, what is it's a good thing for her to have.
And I'm pretty sure there was a blender in every single script.
The coolest thing about them using the weapons is that sort of Sergio Leone like standoff where you can really feel this is the moment where these girls are so like locked and loaded.
I think she's a little bit more of a badass than me, so I try to be more like her.
You could imagine these characters as like action figures, and the idea of like getting your little Hayley action figure with her little battery pack thing. Are you listening, Warner Brothers? This is gold. Working with the alien was also another sort of dream come true, I think, for us, just as, again, kids growing up loving action movies, loving monster movies, and it was so fun, and so then we all like designed it together.
My first baby's like kind of cute in its way. It's like obviously very evil.
So I have worms.
No. What you have is much freakier than that.
This amazing creature effects designer in Utah, Chris Hansen, made the actual animatronic. Having an animatronic is really, if you grew up loving playing with toys and loving wanting to make movies, it really is.
Yeah, it scratches an itch
It sure does.
that you do know you have.
Yes.
They're like a lobster dinosaur, and they control humans. Get on the back of your head and snatch you.
I mean, if I've ever seen an alien, that's an alien.
Woohoo! Snatches!
Whenever the Snatcher was on set is when we would end up doing way too many takes because everyone was like, you got it, we have to move on. We'd be like, yeah, but maybe it roars and then its eyebrows go down and then maybe it only lifts one eyebrow.
That's great. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
We had these amazing puppeteers. One of them would control the mouth and one of them would control the eyebrows. So we would try like truly every combination. We'd be like, roar, eyebrows up, roar, eyebrows down, roar, one eyebrow up, no roar, eyebrows up.
In order to get the eyebrow articulation, the servo motors and stuff had to be stored externally as opposed to inside the body of the Snatcher. Getting the Snatcher on the neck was one of the most difficult parts of using the Snatcher at all.
Every actor hated wearing the Snatcher.
Yeah, because you have to keep your neck, like, you have to touch your chin to your chest.
They put the Snatcher on like 2 hours too early, so I was trying to figure out how to survive for a while.
By definition, you're supposed to be the coolest part of a scene once you have the thing on. So it's like, look down, now sprint!
Enough with the Snatcher.
I did a lot of controlling the Snatcher having sex.
Yes. Now Benji's hand motions.
Yeah, are like, so I had like this, when the Snatcher's having sex with the bigger one, I had like, I was below it with like these two little dowels.
Yes.
Going like.
You got like a really good rhythm in, which no one else could do.
Well, I have to say, this is why we're co-directors, that Steven was like, So it was happening, and he was like, it feels too much like it's from one pivot point. And part of your job as a director is to just see what looks unnatural about something and to make something feel more true to life. And he was like, no, there's not enough rhythm in this thing. And I was like, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm like, the Snatcher don't know how to fuck. And then she was like, oh, you want the Snatcher to fuck?
I was like, okay.
The hardest part about using VFX in a movie is that you're always having to use your imagination, and our imaginations suck. We all couldn't be more happy with the visual effects that we got. I think we just got an amazing team of people working at MFX at Milne who created lifelike Snatcher movements and the Queen movements and just did so many other thankless paint outs.
And we were big believers in how much can we do on camera and then augment with CG. Yeah. Almost every single shot with the Snatcher like jumping around, there's at least one practical element so that then when you do put in CG, there's something for like the human eye to be like, oh, this looks real.
The goal when you're making a movie is that nothing seems strange. You don't want people to think, oh, that's a CG shot, or oh, I bet they did this way. You just want them to watch the movie. We wanted the vomit to feel real, so the way we shot it was Sara was standing up straight and she was actually blocking a vertical pipe that had a hose running down from it. And she was basically just like standing and blocking, like just obscuring like this mouth of the pipe that was like hiding right behind her. And then we painted it out. And I think I think our special effects team pumped some cream of mushroom soup through the pipe for that part.
And that's a great example actually of something that we did. You know, it's like, I would say 90% practical.
Yeah.
And then, like Steven said, we painted out the background, but then also we added a little, like we souped up a little of the bottom of it hitting the ground. There's like a sweet spot between farther than real, so it's funny, yes, but not so far that it feels like you're dumb.
Circle that, please.
My favorite effect is the Queen. Because of the practical head and just the body, it feels so real and big and authentic.
Chris Hansen built us this incredible head for the Queen, and then our puppeteering team, like you can see behind the scenes footage of just like this head with like a guy in a black suit like walking around chomping with his head, and it was incredible how much it elevated the visual effects, because when the front and center thing is this real thing, the visual effects team were really inspired to match the realism, but also I think just like the human eye just like sees this real thing and then accepts everything else. That particular set felt like being on Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. The basement set I think we shot 3 days there. We shot everything from the basement in 3 days, including all of like the puppet stuff, the stair explosion.
Yeah, which also is like, that's another example. The stair explosion is real, and then the monster under it's CG.
Yes, and then the monster explosion is another example of that, where we fired we just got green goop and just used a cannon and just shot, I think like 30 plates of just firing just goop at every different angle, and then MFX stitched it all together and then put the CG monster on top of it and did and blended it together. We had watched this movie over 100 times, and we're so sick of watching it. And we actually do intonations as the new cool like line from a movie, where it's like.
But if you keep watching the credits, you are rewarded.
It's go.
I'm like a crazy guy.
I'm gonna pass out.
And then the credits roll.